From majestic alpine peaks to calm crystal lakes, Austria is a country where nature and culture exist in perfect harmony. This landlocked gem is small in size but vast in beauty, history, and character. Known for its classical music, imperial architecture, and mountain villages, Austria carries the legacy of empires and the elegance of centuries past. Cities like Vienna and Salzburg echo with the sounds of Mozart and the whispers of royal history. Cobbled streets, grand palaces, and Gothic cathedrals tell stories older than memory. But Austria is not just a chapter from history books. It is alive in the snowy slopes of Tyrol. In the green vineyards of Lower Austria, in the peaceful banks of the Danube River, flowing like a silver ribbon through the heart of the country. Every corner offers something unique: art that breathes, landscapes that inspire, and traditions that endure. From hearty alpine meals to elegant coffee houses, Austria's culture is both grounded and refined. The people here take pride in their heritage, yet they welcome the world with warmth and hospitality. In the heart of Vienna stands one of the finest examples of Baroque architecture in all of Europe, the Belvedere Palace. With its elegant gardens, grand halls, and striking symmetry, the palace is more than a historic building. It is a masterpiece of art, design, and vision. Originally built as the summer residence of Prince Eugene of Savoy, a celebrated military leader of the Habsburg Empire, the Belvedere was never just a home. It was a statement of power, taste, and culture. The complex is divided into two main parts, the Upper Belvedere and the Lower Belvedere, connected by terraced gardens that flow like a living painting between them. The Upper Belvedere, with its ornate facade and sweeping views over Vienna, now holds one of the most important art collections in Austria. Inside, the walls are lined with treasures, works by Gustav Klimt, Egon Schiele, and Oskar Kokoschka, among others. Perhaps most famous is Klimt's golden masterpiece, The Kiss, a symbol of passion and beauty that draws visitors from every corner of the world. Outside, the gardens are just as stunning. Carefully designed in the French formal style, they feature fountains, statues, and trimmed hedges that lead the eye and calm the spirit. In the very center of Vienna rises a symbol of faith, endurance, and national pride, St. Stephen's Cathedral. With its tall spire reaching toward the sky and its patterned roof gleaming in the sun, this cathedral is not only a place of worship, but a heart that has beaten at the center of Austrian life for centuries. Built over the ruins of earlier churches, the present cathedral took shape during the Middle Ages. Its Gothic towers, Stone carvings and colorful roof tiles tell the story of an era when every detail held deep meaning. The soaring South Tower, the tallest point of the building, once guided travelers toward the city. Its bell, cast in ancient bronze, has echoed across Vienna through both celebration and sorrow. Step inside, and the light grows dim. The cool stone walls, high arches, and flickering candles create a space of quiet power. Sunlight filters through stained glass windows, painting the floor with color. Statues, tombs, and chapels line the interior, each with its own story, each connected to the long, complex history of this land. St. Stephen's is more than an architectural wonder. High above the quiet waters of the Danube River stands Melk Abbey, a glowing symbol of faith, learning, and Baroque beauty. Perched on a rocky cliff, this golden masterpiece has watched over the Austrian countryside for many centuries. Originally founded as a Benedictine monastery, the abbey has long been a center of spiritual life and scholarship. Its current form, with sweeping staircases, grand halls, and a striking yellow facade, was built during the height of the Baroque era. From a distance, the structure seems to rise like a crown above the small town below, elegant, proud, and timeless. Inside, the abbey is a celebration of art, architecture, and devotion. The library, one of the great treasures of Europe, holds thousands of handwritten manuscripts and early printed books. Rich woodwork, golden details, and painted ceilings make the space feel almost sacred in its silence. It is a place where knowledge and beauty live side by side. The church within the abbey is no less grand. Its high dome, glowing with gold and frescoes, lifts the eyes and the heart. Columns and carvings guide visitors toward the altar, where light dances across gilded surfaces. Tucked between a glassy lake and towering alpine cliffs lies Hallstatt, a village so picturesque it feels like a storybook come to life. With its wooden houses clinging to the hillside and narrow paths winding along the water's edge, Hallstatt is one of the most beloved and timeless places in all of Austria. This small lakeside village has been home to people for thousands of years. It is one of the oldest still inhabited settlements in Europe, with roots going back to the ancient salt trade. The very name Hallstatt is tied to salt, the white gold that brought wealth and connection to this quiet mountain region long before the modern age. The heart of the village is a peaceful square, surrounded by traditional alpine houses with flower-covered balconies and steep rooftops. Each building seems to reflect in the still waters of the lake, where swans glide gently and boats drift without hurry. The sounds are soft, footsteps on stone, the ringing of a church bell, the whisper of wind through trees. Above the village, carved into the rock, is the salt mine, one of the oldest known in the world. A journey into its depths tells the story of human labor, trade, and survival over countless generations. There is a road in Austria that does not simply take you from one place to another, it carries you through the very heart of the Alps. The Grossglockner High Alpine Road is more than a route, it is a journey into the sky. Winding through mountain passes, across deep valleys, and along steep cliffs, this legendary road offers views that seem almost too vast to capture. It connects the provinces of Salzburg and Carinthia, cutting across one of the highest mountain regions in the country. With each curve, the landscape opens wider, fields of wildflowers, glaciers in the distance, and towering peaks that touch the clouds. The road was built with vision and courage, opening in the early 20th century as a bold project to link regions and bring people closer to the wonders of the Alps. Today, it remains a masterpiece of engineering and a gift to travelers from around the world. At its highest points, the road leads toward the base of the Grossglockner, Austria's tallest mountain. Here, the world feels different. The air is crisp, the silence deeper. Marmots scurry across the grasslands, and eagles soar overhead. In the heart of the Austrian Alps, where mountain peaks rise like stone giants above the valley, lies Innsbruck, and at its center, the charming and historic Old Town. This is a place where the past lives not in silence but in color, detail, and motion. Innsbruck's Old Town is a blend of medieval roots and imperial elegance. Narrow cobbled streets weave between tall buildings with pastel facades and ornate signs. Arched doorways and hidden courtyards invite quiet exploration, while the sound of footsteps echoes gently between the stone walls. At the very center stands the Golden Roof, a shimmering balcony covered in copper tiles, built by Emperor Maximilian. It overlooks the town square like a symbol of pride and tradition. Beneath it, street musicians play melodies that drift through the air, mixing with the hum of conversation and the scent of coffee from nearby cafes. The architecture here is a mixture of Gothic, Baroque, and Renaissance. Churches with tall spires rise above the rooftops, their bells marking the hours with soft chimes. Painted frescoes decorate walls with stories from centuries ago, while delicate windows reflect the towering Alps in the distance. Cradled between hills and divided by the gentle Salzach River, Salzburg's Old Town is a place where music, history, and beauty live side by side. with its narrow lanes, domed churches, and elegant plazas. This is one of the best preserved historic centers in all of Europe, a living museum where every stone has a story to tell. The skyline is shaped by the great Hohensalzburg Fortress, rising high above the city. Below, the old town stretches out in quiet harmony. Here, Baroque architecture shines in creamy whites and soft greys, decorated with sculpted angels, winding staircases, and tall green spires. It is graceful without being grand, rich without being loud. Salzburg is the city of Mozart, and his presence is still felt in every note that drifts from an open window or echoes in a quiet square. His birthplace, a modest yellow building along Getreide Gasse, now welcomes visitors from around the world. But music is not just remembered here, it lives on, in daily life, in concerts, in choirs, and in street performers who fill the air with melody. Getreide Gasse itself is one of the most charming streets in the Old Town, lined with wrought iron signs, tiny shops, and centuries-old doorways. High above the rooftops of Salzburg, standing firm on the Festungsberg Hill, is the Hohensalzburg Fortress, one of the largest and best preserved medieval castles in all of Europe. From every corner of the city, its white walls and proud towers rise against the sky, a silent guardian watching over the land for centuries. The fortress was built not as a palace of comfort, but as a symbol of strength and protection. Its thick stone walls were designed to withstand siege, its gates and towers carefully placed to defend the city below. Yet over time it became more than a military stronghold. It grew into a symbol of Salzburg's independence, power, and pride. As you climb the hill, whether on foot or by funicular, the view becomes broader with every step. And at the top, the reward is breathtaking. From the fortress walls, the entire city opens up below, the domes, the spires, the winding river, all framed by rolling hills and distant mountains. Inside the fortress, history comes alive. Rooms once used by archbishops are now filled with tapestries, paintings, and weapons. The staterooms, with their wooden ceilings and intricate details, speak of a time when rulers walked these halls with both elegance and authority. In the cultural heart of Vienna stands a building that is more than just a theatre. It is a temple of sound, elegance, and tradition. The Vienna State Opera is one of the most respected opera houses in the world, where music and movement come together in perfect harmony. Since its first curtain rise in the 19th century, the State Opera has been a symbol of Austria's deep love for the performing arts. Its grand facade, with arched windows and statues of muses, reflects the city's golden age of creativity. Step inside, and the feeling is immediate, a space where beauty is both seen and heard. The grand staircase leads to marble halls lined with chandeliers and velvet drapes. Every detail, from the carved ceilings to the polished floors, is designed to honor the art of performance. It is not just a venue, it is an experience before the music even begins. But the true soul of the Vienna State Opera lies on its stage. Here, the world's greatest composers, singers, and musicians come together to tell stories that transcend time. In the heart of Salzburg, where art, history, and nature gently meet, lies the Mirabell Palace and Gardens, a place of quiet grace and timeless beauty. With its soft white walls and sculpted grounds, it feels less like a grand estate and more like a poem written in stone, water, and flowers. The palace was built as an act of love, a gift from a prince to the woman he cherished. Though its halls have changed with the centuries, that spirit of romance still lingers in every corner. Today, it serves as a place of ceremony, music, and memory, its marble rooms echoing with the past. Step outside, and the gardens open wide like a living painting. Geometric flower beds stretch out in perfect symmetry, bordered by gravel paths and green hedges trimmed with care. Statues of ancient gods and mythical creatures stand watch among fountains that dance with light. Each element is carefully placed, not just for beauty, but for harmony. One of the garden's most beloved views looks straight towards Salzburg's Old Town, with the mighty fortress rising above. In the lively rhythm of Vienna, where elegance often meets tradition, there is a place that feels like pure joy. Prater Park, a vast green space filled with trees, trails, and timeless fun, is where the city comes to breathe, to play, and to remember. Once the private hunting grounds of emperors, the Prater was open to the public many generations ago. Since then, it has become a beloved gathering place for locals and visitors alike. Shaded paths stretch through quiet woods, cyclists glide along smooth lanes, and laughter echoes from open fields and hidden corners. But at the heart of it all, one landmark rises above the trees, the giant Ferris wheel. Standing tall at the edge of the Wurstel Prater amusement park, this iron circle has become one of Vienna's most iconic sights. Built in the early days of modern engineering, it has turned slowly through times of peace and times of change, offering each generation a new view of the city below. Step into one of its wooden cabins, and the world shifts. As the wheel turns, Vienna unfolds, the rooftops, the spires, the gentle curve of the Danube River. There is no rush, no noise, only a quiet glide through the sky. Deep in the Austrian Alps, where forests grow thick and mountains rise like ancient guardians, a river takes a sudden leap and becomes one of nature's most powerful spectacles. The Krimml Waterfalls are not just the tallest in Austria, they are a force of motion, energy, and awe. Fed by glacial waters from the high Tauern Mountains, the falls begin high above the valley floor. From there, the water plunges down in 3 mighty stages, crashing against rocks and cliffs, sending mist into the air like drifting silver. The sound is unending, deep, steady, and alive, a voice from the earth itself. As you follow the winding trail alongside the falls, each turn reveals a new angle, a new rhythm in the water's endless dance. The path rises through pine-scented woods and mossy stones, offering resting spots with views that take your breath away. At every level, the waterfall tells a different story, wild at the top, fierce in the middle, and wide and graceful as it reaches the valley below. But Krimml is more than just beauty. The fine spray from the falls has long been known for its healing qualities. In the quiet mountains of northern Styria, far from the rush of cities and the noise of the modern world, there stands a place of deep peace and devotion, the Mariazell Basilica. Surrounded by forests and hills, this sacred site has welcomed pilgrims for centuries. It is not just a church, it is a sanctuary of hope, faith, and quiet strength. The basilica's twin towers rise above the town with quiet majesty. Its soft pink and white facade glows gently in the morning light, while inside, golden altars, marble columns, and painted ceilings create a space filled with warmth and wonder. Every detail seems touched by the hands of belief and the hearts of those who built it. At the center of the basilica is the cherished wooden statue of the Virgin Mary, small, simple, and ancient. It is this image, known as the Magna Mater Austria, or the Great Mother of Austria, that has drawn countless pilgrims here for generations. People come to pray, to give thanks, to seek healing, or simply to be still in her presence. The sound inside is soft, whispered prayers, the gentle notes of a hymn, the creak of old wooden pews. Light filters through stained glass windows, painting the stone walls with color. In the Salzburg region of Austria, surrounded by snow-touched peaks and green rolling hills, lies a lake that mirrors the sky. Zell am See is more than just water between mountains. It is a place where nature speaks softly, where light dances on the surface, and where every season brings its own kind of beauty. The lake's waters are deep and clear, fed by mountain streams and glacial springs. In the early morning, mist floats gently above the surface. As the sun rises, the lake begins to shimmer, blue, silver, or gold, depending on the sky. On calm days, it becomes a perfect reflection of the Alps above, turning mountains into mirrored dreams. Along the shores, the town of Zell am See stretches with quiet charm. Its lakeside promenades are lined with flowers in spring, golden leaves in autumn, and snow in the still months of winter. Whether you're walking, cycling, or simply sitting, the rhythm of life slows here. There is space to breathe, to listen, and to feel the world settle. Boats glide gently across the water, swans move with quiet grace. High in the Austrian mountains, where cliffs rise steep and valleys fall away into shadow, a remarkable path cuts through the landscape, not a trail for walkers, but a ribbon of iron and stone. The Semmering Railway is one of the great achievements of early engineering, and even today, it feels like a journey into the heart of both nature and human ingenuity. Built in the age of steam and steel, this was one of the very first railways to cross the Alps. It winds through tunnels and curves over tall stone bridges, rising steadily into the highlands. More than just a mode of travel, it became a symbol of possibility, a link between regions, a road to the future. From the windows of the train, the views are breathtaking. Forests stretch deep and green, villages appear like whispers among the hills, and distant peaks shine with snow. Each turn of the track reveals another masterpiece of both design and natural beauty, a landscape carefully honored rather than conquered. Along its route, the railway crosses stone viaducts that seem to float above the valleys. These bridges, with their graceful arches, are not only feats of function, they are works of art. In the heart of Austria's Salzkammergut region, where the mountains meet the sky and the air carries the scent of water and pine, lies Lake Traunsee, a deep, mysterious lake surrounded by beauty that feels both wild and serene. Its surface stretches long and narrow, nestled between steep slopes and quiet villages. On calm days, the lake reflects the towering peaks above like a perfect mirror. On windy afternoons, soft waves ripple like silk. The water is cool and clear, deep enough to seem endless and always changing with the light. Guarding the northern shore stands the mighty Traunstein, a rugged mountain rising almost straight from the lake's edge. Its grey cliffs and snowy ridges cast long shadows across the water, creating a scene of strength and stillness. To many, this mountain is the soul of the lake, bold, silent, and eternal. Along the shores, towns like Gmunden welcome travelers with charm and grace. The lakeside promenades are lined with flower beds and old-world buildings, while wooden piers stretch gently into the water. In the wild heart of Styria, where stone peaks rise like frozen waves and rivers rush through narrow gorges, lies one of Austria's last true wilderness areas, Gesäuse National Park. This is a land where nature has carved bold shapes, where silence holds weight, and where the raw beauty of the Alps remains untouched. The name Gesäuse comes from the rushing sound of the Enns River as it cuts through limestone cliffs. It means roaring or hissing, the voice of water as it meets rock. Here, the river is more than scenery. It is a lifeline, shaping the valley and giving the park its soul. Towering above are the Gesäuse Mountains, steep, sharp, and dramatic. Their white-grey faces catch the morning sun and glow pink at dusk. These peaks are not gentle hills, they are wild, vertical worlds where eagles soar and clouds cling to the crags like breath. Beneath these mountains, forests spread deep and dark, rich with spruce, beech, and pine. Moss carpets the ground, and small streams weave between roots and fallen stone. In the far west of Austria, where borders fade into water and mountains soften into gentle hills, lies a vast inland sea, Lake Constance. Known for its stillness, its clarity, and its ever-changing sky, this lake is a shared jewel, embraced by Austria, Germany, and Switzerland alike. Its shores stretch wide and generous, lined with vineyards, gardens, and small towns that carry the warmth of both tradition and nature. The water itself is calm and steady, holding the reflections of passing clouds and distant peaks. On quiet mornings, the surface turns to glass. In the evening, it catches the last golden light before night falls across the Alps. Though most of the lake lies outside Austria, its northeastern edge is home to Bregenz, a town where culture and water meet. Here, a floating stage rises from the lake each summer, hosting performances that blend music, drama, and open sky. It is one of the few places in the world where the setting sun becomes part of the show. Beyond the town, the lake offers space to breathe. Sailboats drift gently, swans move in slow arcs, and the rhythm of the waves soothes the senses. In the eastern part of Austria, where rolling hills stretch under wide skies and time seems to move a little slower, lies the Pöllau Valley Nature Park. It is a landscape shaped not by dramatic peaks or rushing rivers, but by gentle curves, old traditions, and the quiet harmony between people and the land. This is a place where nature and culture have lived side by side for generations. Fields open into orchards, forests give way to meadows, and small farms dot the hillsides like brushstrokes on a canvas. The rhythm of life here follows the seasons: blossoms in spring, fruit in summer, harvest in autumn, and silence in winter. At the heart of the valley stands the town of Pöllau, known for its Baroque beauty and peaceful spirit. The grand church, often called the Styria Cathedral, rises gently above the rooftops, a symbol of faith and community that has stood for centuries. Around it, narrow streets wind past family homes, workshops, and quiet cafes, where time feels rich rather than fast. But beyond the town, the real soul of the park lies in its natural treasures. Trails lead through forests filled with oak and beech, past ancient trees that have watched over the valley for lifetimes. In the very heart of Vienna, where grand avenues unfold like pages of history, rises one of the city's most iconic landmarks, the Rathaus. This is not just a city hall. It is a symbol of civic pride, architectural beauty, and the spirit of the Austrian capital itself. Built in the Gothic Revival style, the Rathaus looks more like a fairy tale palace than a government building. Its tall central tower, topped by the famous Rathausmann statue, watches over the city like a silent guardian. Rows of pointed arches, graceful spires, and detailed stonework give the building a sense of lightness, even as it stands tall and strong. As you walk past its wide facade, the rhythm of the arches and the patterns in the stone invite you to pause. Every detail tells a story of craftsmen who carved by hand, of leaders who dreamed big, and of a city that has always balanced tradition with progress. Inside, the Rathaus continues to impress. Marble staircases rise beneath chandeliers, vaulted ceilings stretch high above, and ceremonial halls echo with the footsteps of history. In the snowy heart of Salzburg's mountains, where white peaks meet blue skies, and silence is broken only by the sound of skis cutting through fresh powder, lies the Altenmarkt-Zauchensee ski area, a place where winter becomes pure joy. This alpine region is made up of two distinct worlds. Altenmarkt is cozy and traditional, a town where time slows down and charm lingers on every snowy rooftop. Zauchensee, just a short ride away, rises higher into the mountains, offering wide-open slopes, dramatic views, and deep, untouched snow. Together they create a perfect blend of warmth and adventure. The ski area stretches across gentle hills and steep faces, inviting all levels of skiers, from quiet beginners to fearless professionals. Long sweeping runs curve through forested trails and open into broad mountain bowls. Chairlifts rise like silent threads into the white above, offering a sense of peace even before the descent begins. High above, the cold air is crisp and clean. The snow sparkles beneath the sun, and the sound of skis on snow is steady and smooth. Every turn down the mountain feels like a dance, guided by gravity, shaped by the land. In the cultural heart of Vienna, framed by two of the city's greatest museums, lies a square that honors both a powerful ruler and a golden era, Maria Theresa Square. Surrounded by beauty, filled with history, and touched by grace, this space is more than a meeting point. It is a reflection of Austria's rich past and enduring pride. At the center of the square stands a grand monument to Empress Maria Theresa, the only female ruler of the Habsburg dynasty and one of the most influential figures in Austrian history. Seated high upon her throne, she is carved in bronze with strength and dignity. Around her, statues of generals, scholars, and advisors stand in tribute, capturing a time when Austria was shaped by her vision. Flanking the square are two nearly identical buildings, the Museum of Art History and the Museum of Natural History. Each one is a masterpiece in its own right, with grand facades, arched windows, and domed roofs that reflect the harmony and ambition of the late imperial age. Together, they create a space that feels balanced, thoughtful, and full of purpose. Along the northern banks of the Danube River, where the past and present quietly meet, lies the old town of Linz, a place where cobblestone streets remember stories and Baroque facades hold echoes of time. Though Linz is known as a city of innovation and industry, its heart beats with the charm of centuries past. Wandering through the old town is like walking through a living history book. Narrow alleys twist between pastel-colored buildings, each one with its own quiet tale. The architecture is graceful, with arched windows, delicate stucco, and small balconies that bloom with flowers in spring. Every step reveals a hidden courtyard, a church spire, or a cafe filled with conversation. At the center of it all is the Hauptplatz, one of the largest and most beautiful town squares in Austria. Lined with elegant buildings and overlooked by the towering Trinity Column, the square is both grand and inviting. It has been a gathering place for centuries, for markets, for festivals, and for everyday life. Not far from the square, the old cathedral, with its twin towers and peaceful interior, offers a place for reflection. In the gentle hills of southern Austria, Where red rooftops meet green landscapes and history flows like a quiet stream, lies the old town of Graz, a city centre shaped by centuries, yet alive with colour and charm. This is one of the best preserved medieval city centres in Europe, but Graz Old Town is not a museum. It is a living space, filled with rhythm and warmth, where narrow streets wind through layers of the past, and every corner holds a new story waiting to be found. The architecture tells its own tale, a blend of Gothic, Renaissance and Baroque, woven together in a way that feels both rich and effortless. Ornate facades rise beside humble inns, arched passageways open into peaceful courtyards. Towers peak above the rooftops, marking the skyline with quiet grace. At the heart of the old town lies the Hauptplatz, the main square, where the pulse of the city beats strongest. Lined with colourful buildings and crowned by the grand city hall, the square is a place for meeting, wandering, or simply standing still and taking it all in. Climbing the Schlossberg Hill, just steps from the centre, offers a view that seems to stop time. High above the rooftops of Nuremberg, standing with quiet strength on a sandstone ridge, rises the imperial castle, a fortress that once guarded kings, witnessed empires, and shaped the course of European history. This is no ordinary castle. It is a symbol of power, tradition, and the enduring legacy of the Holy Roman Empire. The castle's origins reach back nearly 1,000 years, to a time when Nuremberg was a crossroads of trade and a favoured seat of emperors. Its thick walls, rounded towers, and sturdy gates were not just for defence, they were a declaration of authority. Within these walls, rulers made decisions that echoed across kingdoms. Built from the warm red stone of the region, the castle blends naturally with the earth beneath it. Yet its presence is commanding. As you walk its grounds, the past feels near, not distant or faded, but alive in every stone. Courtyards open to the sky, wooden walkways creak softly underfoot, and high above, the Sinwell Tower offers a view that once served both as a lookout and a symbol of imperial reach. Inside the castle, the imperial chapel stands in quiet dignity. Tucked between the towering peaks of the Karwendel and Rofan mountain ranges lies a jewel of the Austrian Alps, Achensee Lake. With its clear, deep waters and ever-changing shades of blue and green, this alpine lake has long been called the Sea of Tyrol. Achensee is the largest lake in the region, but it never feels grand in a boastful way. Instead, it feels pure. Untouched, like a mirror cradled gently by the mountains. Its waters stretch long and narrow through the valley, kissed by the wind and lit by the mountain sun. Along its shores, quiet villages rest, places like Pertisau and Achenkirch, where wooden homes face the lake and life moves in harmony with the seasons. From these shores, boats glide across the water, leaving soft ripples behind. Hikers and cyclists follow the lakeside paths, while the surrounding slopes call out to adventurers and wanderers alike. The lake is fed by mountain springs, and its waters are so clear that on quiet days, the reflection of the peaks seems more real than the world above. In summer, its cool depths welcome swimmers and sailors. Where Lower Austria meets the sky, and the land begins to breathe in alpine rhythms, the Rax Alpine Area rises, a vast and peaceful highland shaped by wind, stone, and silence. This is a place where nature speaks softly, where every trail leads towards stillness, and where the mountains open not with drama, but with quiet majesty. The Rax Plateau, part of the northern limestone Alps, stretches like a hidden world above the forested valleys. Once reached by cable car or climbed by trail, the views open wide, across rolling meadows, distant peaks, and skies that seem to go on forever. The air is crisp, the light is clear, and the sense of space is complete. Here, the high pastures bloom with alpine flowers in summer, painting the ground in soft hues of violet, yellow, and white. In winter, the landscape transforms into a field of snow, smooth and untouched, broken only by the tracks of animals or the gentle glide of skis. For generations, the Rax has welcomed hikers, poets, thinkers, and those seeking something deeper than a view. It is a place of retreat and renewal, not far from the cities, yet far enough to feel entirely removed. Just beyond the elegant avenues and timeless facades of Vienna, the city slowly gives way to green, to rolling hills, whispering trees, and the soft hush of nature. This is the Vienna Woods, a vast and gentle forest that wraps around the capital like a quiet breath, offering peace, beauty, and a deep connection to the land. Known in German as the Wienerwald, these woods have long been a place of retreat. For emperors, composers, writers, and wanderers, the forest has offered the same gift: stillness. Here, the air is cooler. The light filters through leaves, and time, for a while, moves more slowly. The Vienna Woods stretch over soft limestone hills, covered in a patchwork of oak, beech, and pine. In spring, wildflowers bloom along the forest floor. In autumn, the canopy burns gold and crimson. Deer move silently through the undergrowth. Birds sing high above, and quiet trails lead into the heart of something ancient and alive. Among these woods are hidden gems, old monasteries resting on hilltops, vineyard paths winding past stone walls, and small villages where tradition lives on. High above the Salzach Valley, perched on a narrow rock ledge and surrounded by the peaks of the Berchtesgaden Alps, Hohenwerfen Castle rises like something out of legend. Stone walls climb into the sky, towers stand watch over the land, and history lingers in every shadowed archway. This is not just a fortress, it is a stronghold shaped by time, by power, and by the spirit of the mountains. Built in the heart of the Middle Ages, the castle was designed as a symbol of control and defense. For centuries it guarded important trade routes, protected Salzburg's archbishops, and stood firm through wars and sieges. Its thick walls and commanding position speak clearly. This was a place meant to last. Surrounded on all sides by forested hills and snowy peaks, Hohenwerfen seems both isolated and deeply connected to the landscape. From the castle's ramparts, the view stretches far across deep valleys, winding rivers, and the distant shimmer of alpine light. The silence is vast, broken only by wind or the cry of a bird circling overhead. Inside, stone corridors twist through centuries. High on a sunlit plateau, in the heart of the Tyrolean Alps lies Seefeld, a village where alpine charm, natural beauty, and timeless tradition come together in perfect balance. Surrounded by snow-dusted peaks and wide-open meadows, Seefeld in Tyrol feels like a peaceful retreat carved gently into the mountains. The village itself is full of quiet elegance. Wooden chalets with flower-filled balconies line the streets. Small churches ring their bells over rooftops, and in every corner, a sense of calm hospitality welcomes travelers with warmth and grace. Seefeld has long been known as a place of rest and renewal. For centuries, pilgrims made their way here, drawn by the spiritual peace of the mountains. Later, it became a gathering place for winter sports, a stage for snowy adventures, and a home to those who love the rhythm of the seasons. In winter, the landscape turns to white. Cross-country trails stretch out through the forest, wide and smooth. Downhill slopes glisten under blue skies. Snowflakes fall softly over the rooftops, and the scent of pine and wood smoke fills the air.